Okay, my name is Zakashi, guys, and in this video here we're going to be going into leader slot. Now there's probably a lot of good leader slot options, and for the time I'm making this video, at the end of the video I will include some options that I think are great leader slot options. But I'm going to get into explaining how the leader slot works, how to pick a good leader slot, because it's not just based on, oh, if you want to take somebody from another team and actually put them on your team, that it makes them a good leader slot option. There's actually a few things that you might want to consider for the actual team that you use, whether it be a team with a consistent tag, Fusion Warriors, movies, whatever it is. We're going to be getting into that in this video. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers. All my social media is going to be on the bottom of the screen. This is the YouTube channel. We've got a Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link all in the description below. So make sure to check me out on all of those. But yeah, I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. Let's actually get into the video now. It's going to be fully time-stamped, so your viewer experience will be the best that it can be. Okay, so the leader slot is a way to bypass any of the abilities so that you can actually build a team taking a unit from another tag and putting it on a tag where they do not belong. This way you can actually mix and match units, so you don't have to stay consistent with the tags and the Z abilities, so that you can actually run different units together and build way more team compositions that would normally be possible. So in this case, you can see I've got two units that have no business being together. We've got Pan and we've got LF Super Vegio, who actually has a Zenkai. Something I want to mention before I continue on with explaining leader slot is that the leader slot does not bypass Zenkai abilities. If you don't know what I mean by that, what I'm trying to explain is that the Zenkai ability has two requirements on it. It has an element and usually a tag, episode, something of that sort, right? Just because you put a unit on the leader slot does not mean they get the Zenkai ability. It's the one thing that gets, it's like restricted within the unit, so they still have to be consistent with what the Zenkai ability offers. But with the Z abilities, it gets disregarded instantly, and whatever's written in there will be applied to the unit that you are actually using, as long as you bring them into battle. So if you want to see exactly what I mean, I'm going to go over here to Super Vegeta, right? And you can see his Z ability over here. With Pan, it says plus 20% to episode sagas from the movies or tag hybrid saying max base health, and 20% to tag Son family base critical. Now you can see easily through his tags, he does not have any of that. No Son family, no movies. He doesn't have it. He doesn't fit the tag requirements. However, you can see in the explanation, if you go to the details, leader, select the leader as battle member, and this effect will activate even if this character does not meet the necessary conditions. So that's essentially how the leader slot works. You don't have to worry about anything else besides from the other units to mesh with. In this case it will be Super Vegio, so I'd have to actually use Super Vegio with units that actually mesh well with him. The Z ability is consistent regardless outside of that, but for the leader slot they just get bypassed, and it applies both ways, vice versa. So even if I go to Pan as well, you can see that she has the exact same text and she would get Super Vegio Z ability even though she's not a Fusion Warrior. It goes both ways, but there's no Zenkai ability option. And let me show you that the Zenkai ability does exist. If I pick this guy here, so you can see that Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, they actually have a Zenkai ability for red sagas from the movies, right? If I actually go to Pan, I go to, if I go to details, and then I actually scroll down on Pan, you can see she now has a Zenkai ability section, which she's getting from Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. Once you actually know what leader slot is, it's pretty much common sense. However, there are some cases where you could be missing out on the maximum potential because you don't consider every single line in a Z ability, and that's what I'm going to explain in this segment here. In the next segment, I'll just give you some examples currently in the game that are really good leader slot options in my opinion. In this case, you can see that everybody on the team here is a GT member. Everybody belongs from the GT arc or Dragon Ball GT. So you'd be thinking, what is there to look at here? But what I'm going to take is actually Android 17. Now he's the odd one out simply because he is not a Saiyan. Now in this case, you can see everybody's a Saiyan here. Goku, Goku, Goku Vegeta, Goku, Goku, right? Everybody's a Saiyan, and because of that, you can see there might be some Z abilities where they have that and attachment to the Z abilities. You've seen it in Zenkai abilities, but even in the Z ability, there is that and section that actually gives members that meet two requirements within the Z ability an extra buff. In this case, let's take this Goku here, Super Saiyan 3 Goku. If we look at his Z ability, plus 35% to GT or tag Sun family, base strike, attack and defense, and plus 18% to characters that are both tag GT and tag Saiyan, base blast attack during battle. Now what you want to keep an eye on is the tag that are both tag GT and Saiyan base blast attack during battle. Now that could be easily overlooked because it's just the extra bit of writing, but the keyword "and" makes a big difference. Everybody here is a GT Saiyan, so they would actually get that very easily, very easily. Even though it's blast attack and the team is very strike orientated, it's an extra buff that it could actually make the difference when you're actually in PvP. But because Android 17 is not a Saiyan, he wouldn't get that. So in this case, it's very effective to actually put him on the leader slot over anybody else. Even if the tag force might be my main man, and even if everybody on this team is GT, it's a small detail like that could make you win or lose a game. If you had a bit more blast damage, you could have been doing a lot more blast damage throughout the whole game. So just bear that in mind, read every single line, and the placement that you put on the leader slot, even if they all have the same tag, it could make a very big difference for you in ranked PvP. Okay, now to end this video, I've actually selected 12 leader slot units. Now, not all of them are especially valuable in today's PvP meta or whatnot, but I'm just using them as examples. Some of them are very good and definitely ones that you should be using right now, but I'm just picking them to give you examples on what you could actually look for in a unit when you're deciding to actually leader slot them. So the first one I want to start with is 17 over here. This guy here has revived USS single-handedly, universe rep, the new tag and whatnot. He has a lot of things to offer. The fact that you can't take out his endurance is insane. Health, healing factors, you can't do a lot of damage with like your biggest weapons, blue cards, ultimates. It's actually nuts what he can actually do for a team. Very effective overall, just brings your team to life. I don't have him at the moment. I'm looking to get him in the future, closer to the anniversary. I'm thinking that's when he's going to rerun, maybe part 1, part 2, maybe if there's even a part 3 this year, we don't know, but I just didn't want to pull him first time, so he's just the one I have first. I've got this second sheet of units here. Zamasu, another unit, endurance. You're going to see a similar trend with these units. Zamasu has endurance. He's able to break combos off when actually a combo starts. He actually reduces key 30 and reduces 20. So it's actually very useful to actually stop your actual enemies from doing long combos if you switch into him, on top of the fact he has endurance, so he can't just be taken out. His green card is very effective. It's like it gives him cover change nullification, and then on top of that, he's able to just do a longer combo because of it. It's actually very effective. On top of it can counter a lot of other things as well. Rose's really here because he's just a brick wall, but outside of that, if you rush with him or if you kill with him, he nullifies endurance permanently. And he's one of the few in the game who's able to nullify LL17's endurance, even though he has endurance nullification cancellation, which is insane. Rose permanently does that, so even if it gets cancelled, it just gets rebirthed in a sense. So he's able to just permanently throughout the game nullify everybody's endurance. Whis is only here really because he's a good support. Outside of that, he has a few big disruption factors, but he's not very popular anymore. Ultra Gold G Blue is an example of a very good oppressive unit. This guy here, he does everything across the board pretty much, and his gauge is very effective. I feel like I'm just going to use him as an example of maybe any ultra that you might want to use, or any unit that's just really overpowered at the time you're playing the game. Revival Gohan is the last one out of these 6 here, and simply because he has some healing factors for the team. He's very useful for the team, buffing the team, on top of the fact he has a revival. Now this guy's really only good at high stars, but the revival is just an extra life, and it resets the priority that the enemy has. So if they actually get priority against you, they take out your revival, cool, you got a second life, and now we have to reset whoever gets priority first in the next battle, or the next clash against whoever attacks first, basically. Other 6 I've got here, 17. This guy here, his main ability is pretty solid. It locks you in, but the green card, he's able to just pop it, and then he can nullify a lot of people's endurance. Not like 17 because it'll just get cancelled. But you can see off the green card for 5 time accounts, he can nullify endurance. That could make a difference in the battle. This guy here is quite tanky as well, and he heals a lot of health for no reason. Future Gohan is a very popular option, specifically because he has endurance. He's actually able to stay alive longer, and every time a combo ends when he's getting attacked, he actually buffs the allies on his team, so which is pretty dope. Even when he enters the battlefield, when following effects occurs when he enters the battlefield, plus 25% inflicted by allies for 15 time accounts. But what I was talking about, effects occur after enemy attack is over, plus 25%. So it's pretty dope what he can do, I'm not gonna lie. He's been alive for a long time in PvP. Do not sleep on this guy, Future Go. And he goes type neutral when one person dies too. Ultra Super Vegito, he's really only here because of 2 reasons. He has endurance, and he's actually able to get his vanish back from his main ability. A slight plus as well, every time he does an art card, he's able to actually give you sustained damage. So you actually do more damage throughout all of your team. And I'll just add, because I know his kit, he is actually able to actually counter blast attacks, his gauge, very dope. Tag droids, same reason as Rose. They are just able to nullify endurance permanently, but we'll also add on top of that, their combos are exceptionally long, and specifically 18, she can just take off your vanish off a green card. So if you're in that position where you're waiting for them to attack you so you can vanish step off her strike cards, she's gonna snap her fingers, she's gonna snap her fingers, and then your vanish is gone. Pan, the most notorious leader slot member in the game, she has to be. This girl here is a support demon. She summons a green and a blue card off her main. She's able to lock your actual main ability off her green, which is actually insane. Shorten sub counts all over the board, main ability green, combo stopping, reducing your key, just dope. Locks in off the first card you do to her, she's insane. And I also just put ultra hit here because I feel like his time stop can just be like used very effectively. It's not like insanely overpowered because they can be countered as long as you don't vanish step, but I'm putting him in here similar to Ultra Gogeta Blue, especially while he's boosted. He can be a very oppressive unit that you could use on the battlefield. But yeah, man, that's going to conclude this video. Hopefully this video was very helpful for anybody that's watching this watching me for the first time. Press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers. I upload a lot of useful videos, so if you check the channel, you'd definitely be entertained, you definitely learn something. Got a lot coming on the channel, so tap in, man. All my social media is going to be on the bottom of the screen. There's the YouTube channel, we got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and the Discord link all in the description below. But I'm gonna leave the video like that. I appreciate you guys for watching. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.